we're just gonna do this raw, I guess. I hope this is in frame. I just did my first ever ghost tour.
Tonight, folks, this is our group, so we have a little bit of a wonderful event here since it is a small group. I can customize it to the way you desire since we are so small. We'll go across the street, we'll start at the orphanage. I prefer starting there because the later you stay, the freakier the house feels. I'm sorry, that's just the way that house is. So we'll go across the street. If anyone's sensitive, good luck. That house is a tough one.
Really? I've sat in the pit with the lights
Isn't it just
a little eerie?
Yeah. It's eerie, it's heavy, it's dense.
Okay.
We made it. Yes, you can only stay on the main floor in the cellar. Mr. Tom's on the second floor, Mr. Mark's on the third floor.
Has that changed through the years? Is it always
People,
living here?
as far as I know, I came in 2017, so,
Okay.
as far as I know, yes.
It wasn't designed for me.
So you can all get situated. If you want, you may take a few moments and take some photographs with the lights on. We do have out here, we have a false pit. You will go down and see the real thing. This was dug out when this was a history museum to show the cruelty of the final head matron because, well, they never took anyone downstairs to the cellar. So go ahead.
What's the pit? Just like
It is a,
the naughty stuff, basically, but extreme?
It's like a hole dug into the wall in the basement that they would chain up kids when they were bad.
So like the naughty stuff, but extreme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
It's
Right.
essentially just broken in, kind of like the Jenny Wade house. So it's just like, yeah.
it's heavy. And yes, you can use your K2 meter.
Nowadays, most people
It's on,
most
yeah.
effort they put in is putting it in a jar.
Well, now we have bread machines.
Yeah.
Those are wonderful inventions. Okay, so starting. The beginnings of this house behind me, this was built in the 1950s, was bathed in blood, guts, and body parts. The beginnings of this orphanage. This was a field hospital after the war. The blood is just dripping down onto this wood floor. It's dripping down into the cellars. Some of these old houses that were here during the battle, if you lift up the flooring, you will find holes on the wood floors. That's because during the field hospital days, so much blood would pool on the floors, you had to get it out. And if you drilled a hole, you would just sweep it down into your cellar. So we have the blood, we have the life force of these men dripping down into the cellar of this house. And so many body parts, so many amputations that the windows that are in there, you just carried the part and dumped it out the window into a bushel basket underneath. When it rises to about window level, as these body parts are decomposing and you're getting infestations and you had wild animals feasting on the fresh meat, they buried them. And where did they bury them? Well, guess what? You probably walked over that already. Hoof and Fowl has been several different businesses. A restaurant.
What has?
Hoof, Fin, and
yeah.
Fowl. Just down the road about, what,
Yeah, we're pretty good there.
50 feet. It's active in more than one way. Well, long before it was Hoof and Fowl, there was a medium, went in, contacted two entities, a northern and southern soldiers, she said. Talked to them, and they said, yeah, bone pit dug in that area, according to those entities, and that's where they put the body parts. So, you're walking on the parts. We have blood and guts. While all this is going on after the battle, this man is found dead at York and Stratton Street. He's different than the rest of, and he's unknown. No one knows who he is because there's no dog tags, no identification, nothing sewn or written on his uniform. He's holding this photograph, or he's holding a photograph of these 3 children. Everyone assumes those are his kids. Well, Dr. Francis Bournes, who is not photographed here, is passing through. He's trying to help. Here's the stories, and he gets that photograph. He starts making copies, assuming those are his children.
The others scare me.
The others would scare you, my dear, and I'm very sorry. And he's selling them at the local drugstores. And on the back, there's a little story, found on a dead soldier in Gettysburg. If these are your children, please write to me, Dr. Francis Bournes, Philadelphia, so we can help you identify your husband. This takes 3 months. This is 1863, that's normal. And he also writes a newspaper article about the soldier, the kids, their clothes, about their ages. And a woman in Portville, New York has a subscription to the American Presbyterian. It has a story inside. She passes the story to a Mrs. Belinda Humiston. She reads it. Those sound like my children. They could not reprint the picture in the paper. And she writes to Dr. Bournes. He sends her a little copy back, a carte de visite. She opens it, and ta-da! Those are my children. Her husband has been dead for 3 months, and she hasn't known it.
Oh, no.
Dr. Bournes, once they started her correspondence, this would have been proper, maybe the Postmaster General helping, because she was she was a woman that was married. How dare she write to an unknown man? And visits, returns a photograph, the original or not, that is up for debate. And sees her plight, and that's how he gets the idea. I'm going to open an orphanage. So women like Miss Belinda, Mom, you could still be alive, but if you could not financially care for your children, and dads, sometimes it was their situation too, but most of the men were well dead back then. And if you couldn't care for these kids, you could place them here. Didn't need to be permanent. No, just till you got your financial act together, or pretty much, remarried. Because in 1863, what are your job opportunities, ladies? Yeah. Not much. Nothing that will pay you a living wage with children. Well, this waits till after the war, and it opens in 1866 to great fanfare. Miss Belinda's offered a position here by the time she's arrived. We thought she was the head matron. She was the wardrobe matron, wardrobe mistress. She's here with her 3 kids. They are together. They aren't separated. November comes, 25 to 35 children. Huzzah! It goes off like gangbusters. There are donations coming in. Principal, assistant, principal, teachers, and tutors. Oh, it's going great. The kids have food in their belly, shoes on their feet, clothes on their back. They participate in town events. The town embraces these kids. By 1867, one of the earliest photos. This is the original building you just walked in. That's your parking lot. That's Baltimore Pike. There's more. These are the girls. These are the boys. That's more than 25 to 35 children already in this building. And it's still marching along. They get lessons in everything. Reading, writing, arithmetic. By 1869, they have to build, as you can see in the other photographs, the girls' dormitories. This girls' dormitory, as you can see, it's at the back. There's a building behind it to house the girls, 70 plus children. And Miss Belinda's time ends in 1869. She's offered a marriage proposal. And this is one for the ages, ladies. The man, Lieutenant Asa Barnes, is passing through. He sees her, she sees him, okay, hi, bye. And whatever. He writes her a letter and pretty much states, honey, do you want to get hitched? To a man she's hardly met. 70 plus kids, or I can get married to a man I hardly know. I'm going to go get married. Right here in the orphanage. Husband and wife kiss on the cheek. Her children remain here for about 2 years. Till she and the hubby get used to each other. They hardly know each other, and the house gets prepared. That's not uncommon, though, to leave your children in a situation like this. It's a different time period. And life continues on, and by 1872, the final head matron is installed. Mrs. Rosa Carmichael is the name she gives. We have no known photograph of Mrs. Rosa Carmichael here, and we do not have a photograph of Dr. Bournes. He owns the house, he owns the property, he purchased it for the sole purpose, and he's in Philadelphia. And Mrs. Rosa Carmichael becomes a bit different than the rest of the head matrons and principals that were here at this school. So if you wish, take your final photographs. We'll go into the dining hall, which was the original portion. I'll turn off the lights, and we'll have the rest of the tour in the dark. You, sir, will need to duck at certain portions of the tour.
Was already ducking in the coming in. I'm so used to it at this point.
My dear, my birthday. 1872, by that time, she is here. And it took exactly 1 year. 1 year. They had never had a death before in this orphanage. Not one. But in 1873, Robert Turner is dead. There is no obituary posted in the paper about this child dying. The rumor is, or the story goes, there's a little boy that goes knocking. Hi, I call him Johnny. I'm here to play with Robert. Can Robert come out to play today? Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny, says Rosa. No, he's dead. Johnny tells his parents make him tell the town, and the town goes, say what? There is no obituary. The town didn't know. The town comes, Rosa, where's the boy? Where's his body? Oh, you mean Robert? Yes, is he the one that passed? Yes. Where is he? Where's his body, Rosa? I don't remember where I buried him. What? This is the story. Take it or leave it as you so see fit. You'll have to find him yourself. Men, this is your job back then, hands down. Get your pokey sticks. We're going to poke the earth till we find the soft spot. And we're going to dig him up.
That's nice.
He's 13. The boy was 13 years old. He had no crime. He was placed here by his parent, or he was a true orphan, and he had no place to go. 5 and 6 years old to 16 years old. This is the age range of these children. At 16, you were considered an adult, and out into the world you went. The Grand Army of the Republic veterans did take charge and buried him in an unmarked grave on christened ground, but they didn't even give him a marker with his name on it. And Robert, though, in the end, sadly, even without the unmarked grave, was truly lucky. Mind you, this was a painful death, inflammation of the bowel or appendicitis. Yeah, this was painful. Why Dr. Bournes did not, if he was here, why he did not tend to the child. The children that had been here long enough knew where the doctor's office was. Why Rosa didn't excuse one and say, go running for the doctor now. We do not know. But after this, Rosa turns very hard, cruel, and mean to these children. If you thought the dripping of the blood and the body parts and everything going out these windows was bad, oh, this is worse because it was children.
Yeah.
Rosa would punish these children for whatever offense she deemed punishable. This is what we know about. She would, tie children to the fence post at the end of the property, let them bake in the sun. No food, no water.
Nice.
During the hot days, the wild dogs would lick the sweat off your body. She made one poor child stand on the table here in the dining hall as punishment. And when the child was allowed to get down, the poor child could not because the knees were frozen shut. That had to be hours and hours for that to happen. And then there was the cellar. This table to my right is over the path to this cellar. Congratulations. I'm sort of standing over top of the area, which they called the dungeon back then. We call it the pit today. It is, if you think this is black, oh no. There is blacker, and this cellar is it. And she'd throw them in there, shackle them, who knows what, and leave them down there for who knows how long. At least during the day, you could hear people walking around. But when night came, and everyone's all settled in, this, in the pitch black darkness, this is what the children heard at night. They saw nothing. They heard nothing. And they're just kids. 16 is not an adult, even back then. No. This goes on to 76. She didn't let them out for the Memorial Day parade. She and the Grand Army of the Public Veterans were getting into it. The town tries to come in. She stands her ground. Dr. Boers left me in charge. You can't come in, or if they do, the kids, she'll put out her favorites, or the kids will flat out lie because they know what's going to happen to them. 76, she didn't let them out for that Memorial Day parade. The town is not happy. They are up in arms. 10 to 12 days later, they are in. Get out of our way. They were writing to Dr. Boers, something's not right. You've got to change this. You have to come. He did nothing. Nothing. He summered here, is what he did. And guess who were his personal servants? Yeah. Ew. Ew. And, well, the town was appalled. They go to the cellar, they find the shackles, they find the dungeon. Lady, you did not do what we think you did. Yes, I did. What? There's no electricity back then. This is what they saw. We're lucky we have that little bitty light up there. That's bright. Order, discipline, whatever came to her mind. Why they go down there? Oh, someone took my keys. Whatever she deemed punishable. How long? A day or two. Those kids said it was longer. Food, water, potty breaks? Yeah, right. No. Trial commenced that year. Guilty of cruelty, assault, a couple bail bonds later, and a $20 fine and no jail time. You need to leave, my dear. She left, all right. She left that trial and returned right to here. And the town let her remain, which was the sad part. She was found guilty. The whole town knew it. And yet, she was allowed to remain with children, the few that were left. They had been siphoning the kids off. By 77, Dr. Boers forgot to pay the taxes. No tax money, no orphanage. Yep, closing it up. Rosa up and disappears that year. We don't know what happened to her. She was not cornered by the town, put in the coffin and buried alive. No. She just poofed and disappeared. Dr. Boers suffered no repercussions whatsoever. The children, we'll put them in other orphanages, long-lost relatives, or adopted by the townspeople. And it's cleaned up, it's moved up. Yep, and it moves on. No one said a prayer for the soldiers. No one said a prayer for these kids. It's been sitting here since then. They say it's your stories that are riling them up. It's been sitting here for over 140 years. This started in 2003. Don't ask me why it hasn't been cleared before then, but it hasn't. And that's what's here. It is so dark, ladies and gentlemen. It is so heavy. And for the table in front of me. Well, you're not over the pit, but darned if you aren't near a window.
Oh God.
Where they just dumped, I mean, look, here, let me turn the light
I
on.
really don't want to, honestly.
You didn't look, did you?
No.
Look, there was a window there, young man.
There is a window there.
Yes, if you get a whiff of something, but you're right near the window.
Yeah.
So, we're going to the cellar. Are you getting some unusual words?
We are getting quite a bit.
Okay. And we're going to have this tall, brave man in front of me be tribute and first to the cellar.
See ya.
Tributes come with a $20 tip, please. I guess, okay.
I'll go behind you.
Yeah, please do.
Would you like to be first to the cellar?
Yes.
Okay, the birthday
All right, she's
girl.
braver than me. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm like.
The cellar steps are steep. They are not exactly wide. This flashlight function on your cell phone is an absolute necessity. Oh, thank you, my dear.
Did they get that ball in that bag?
Yeah, she got it.
Yeah.
I still can't believe I got
There you
it.
go.
That's nuts.
Birthday girls.
My old phone wouldn't have done that.
Right.
Because for some reason, I don't know if you have to disable it or what, but
I'm
if I
not
take
trying
a
to be
picture,
buddy. I just don't want to be
You're
the
fine.
last one in the room.
Well, you're fine. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, we do the same.
You're gonna do some flash.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You do yours and I'll
Yeah,
take mine.
flashlight function on the cell phone, please.
That's dust
Yeah, I'm
right
gonna
there.
turn
Just
around
see
and
in
take a
front of
picture
me.
after they're
Here,
done.
But you
I'm
can
gonna
use
put
that.
this at the top of the stairs to help everyone down. Yes, it is. One
Okay.
step at a time and watch your heads.
Hey, Dave, somebody else take a picture. I get all
It's
wet.
reflection.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Here we go.
Why don't Jimmy this? It's a fake. It's a fake.
Lost it.
No, I don't know what's in there. I have to tell you. There's a fake kid in
Yeah.
there?
That's Chucky.
Oh.
Everyone has nicknamed him Chucky. That's the false pit. When it was a history museum that was dug out to show the cruelty. This will create a laser grid. It is a laser. It will put your eye out, kid. So, I'm going to put it against the wall. What this does is it creates like an artificial wall.
Okay.
If there is something walking down here and this moves, and we can actually, let's see, there we go. If it moves, that means there could be something going through it. Now, this is not the dungeon. This is the cellar. The dungeon was that door I closed behind me. It's about, what, a 5-foot, 10-foot walk back there, you think, young couple?
Yeah.
It is a low drawbridge. Extremely low. Keep your heads down, especially you, sir.
Yeah.
If you get a whiff back in that dungeon, I do apologize.
What? Oh.
A whiff of human waste, because there were no potty breaks. And this is what it has been described to me. There was a young lady, a teenager. She truly had that sixth sense. She went back there with her family. And as she was about ready to crawl into that pit, and yes, you will crawl into it, she said, "Oh, woo-wee, Daddy, it stinks down here. It's really bad." He said, "Honey, what are you smelling?" "It smells like someone held it in their body for so long that it exploded outwards." And that's what's back there. So, without further ado, I'm going to take you in small groups back there. I'm going to put one cat fold up with the other, please. I'm going to put one cat hole here. So if the children come near the toy table, please do not take the toys. It'll set it off.
It straight up looks like somebody's just shining a camera or a phone. Actually,
Oh, look at that.
Very bright.
Very bright. Now, if you want something of a more intense nature, go ahead. I double dog dare you to take one of these toys.
I'm good.
Pass.
Yeah. No.
I'm trying to
I
sleep
think
soundly
kids
at
should
my
play with
house.
toys, and that's it.
One
And
of
I'm pretty
these
sure I just felt
have
the
been
tug,
down
so-
here for over a year. Could something be attached to it for as long as they have been down here? Oh, heck yeah. Most definitely.
I'll take a toy.
Please don't.
I was saying, it says please don't touch. I'll
Yeah.
take the dare, but
Well, one lady was sent a toy and it was sent to Florida. It came back. It was FedExed back.
oh wow.
Wait, what do you mean she was sent a toy? Like someone took
She
it? and-
requested it.
They had the
What?
toy sitting in like the pit back.
This
when
was
I
a woman years before I started. She says, "Oh, I hear of something always being attached to it. Send me something." We sent her a little dollar store doll when things were still $1. You can put your K2 meter there. It's okay. And a few weeks later, they say, "There's a call it, and if you hear anything walking upstairs, there's no one above us right now." This was the old gift shop. There's nothing there now. And this place is feeling freakier now that that's empty.
I'd like to agree with that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And they said, she said to them, "What do you want me to do with it?" Pretty much. They said, "Ma'am, you sent me the doll." "Oh, how's that?" "No. New. Make a noise.
It's just my K2. Don't worry.
It's my
That's
sounds.
the only time
I'm
it's
hearing,
gone off
and
this
I
whole
swear
time.
the doll's moving around. They said, "Send it back." Before she could send it back, her neighbor got a hold of it because her neighbor said, "I'm going to prove you wrong." Yeah, right. No, the doll was FedExed. You're last. Let's go.
Have fun. Oh, you get to go.
All right.
Keep your heads down.
That's creepy.
Duck and cover.
I'm short enough.
Yeah, right.
Lucky you.
Disadvantage or the advantage of the
This
disadvantage.
is truly
Oh, now I'm not.
Okay, now I
no.
can
Okay.
destroy this.
What the?
There you go. You know where
No.
it is.
No. No.
Yes, you
No.
literally crawl inside.
No.
You can sit on the ledge if you wish. Okay? You do not need to remain here. This is just for you to experience.
Okay. I'm like,
Welcome.
I'm right here.
I'm trying not to sit on the floor, but my knees are gonna get tired. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna flash this
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah.
you'll-
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that a couple times as well.
I definitely caught dust there. I seen that in the middle of the flash.
Right. I'm sure.
Okay, what we got? The
This is.
Here comes mine.
Yep.
yeah, that was dirt, no doubt.
Wow.
2. I'm gonna take one more. It almost looks like there's a fog in front of me.
I mean, you can tell the difference between dust. Like we're getting a lot of dust down here. Of course, I can see it
Yeah.
way in front. But
Especially
that
when we
first
first came
one
in.
was not dust or a bug.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's just a lot of dust.
Yeah, I don't have anything in my photo. First one.
All right, I'm gonna switch back over to this. Oh, back of my
Do you want me to back up?
little Tonka truck. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Do you want my light?
I don't like fucking being
A
over
little bit
here.
of something in that last photo.
I don't.
Miranda.
I don't like being in this whole area.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
hang on.
Ready?
Let me.
Okay, thank you. I'll do 2. One more. Oh, what do we got? Nothing in the stills. It's whoa! What the hell was that?
Oh.
I don't know if that was a glitch or what, but it was creepy.
I got a really bad scent.
It wasn't me, I swear.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
This is one that I just looked at. Yes.
Oh, actually,
Okay, let's see.
I had it for 2 seconds. It if you've ever carried dog poop on a walk.
Yeah, that's how I would have described it.
Ex-
Just only for a
like-
couple of seconds.
Yeah, I didn't get anything on either side yet. Oh my lord.
You gonna do more photos?
Oh yeah, definitely. If I caught something upstairs, I think I'd be bound to find something down here.
Right.
A little photos.
Maybe something more than an orb.
And I guess I'll say if there is anything down here, I've got a audio recorder on.
I got this.
I won't be able to hear you right now, most likely. But if you speak into my left hand,
I'm gonna do another 3 photos.
while they're taking photos, there's this green light near my hand. If you want, you can make it change colors by going near it. It's just like one of your toys. I mean, they might be tired. We're the last group. I wouldn't blame them.
Did they have groups through here earlier today?
No, but even of our little group.
Oh, I know what you mean, yeah.
I'm gonna move to the other side.
Here.
Yeah, go ahead. Try taking pictures toward me and see if you can. Hope somebody broke their little thing.
Yeah.
Whoever might be down here.
We're just here to say hi.
So does somebody live on the top floor? Is that why there's drainage pipes and stuff coming down through here?
There used to be.
Yeah, I think they've got. I think they said at one time there was like a museum store or something.
Yeah.
So they probably had, basic.
They had somebody living in the attic at that point, and he was telling people that the head mistress used to live up there, which is why I asked the woman about that.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about, the video that we watched.
Yeah. I'm gonna try taking one of the wall close to me. Okay.
I have an idea. I'm gonna start recording video on my phone. Hold my phone out.
Okay.
Where's my video?
You didn't get anything in that set of photos.
Alright. I'm holding it out.
I'll put my word.
Maybe something will come up to my phone and speak into the microphone.
Maybe.
This is my word thing.
There's a lot of devices here. You can play with any of them. They're just like your toys.
Alrighty, you may come out now, children. Ole oxen.
Alrighty.
Keep your head down, sir.
Yeah, this is the
Foot
fun
in
part.
reverse.
Be careful.
Yep. God.
Okay. Now forward you go. There you
Oh,
go.
God.
Yes. The other house isn't this bad.
Oh, thank goodness.
She's the last one to talk to the corner.
Oh. Alright, hang on. I can stand up vertically
Did you hear
here.
anything?
Ow.
Did you hear anything?
I did not hear anything. But I've had a audio recorder going this whole time, so
I'll have to review that video. It's only like 30 seconds. And
Yeah.
talking in between, but
That's what
maybe
it was like.
yeah.
Yeah, and other nights you can get absolutely nothing.
Get what floating?
Orbs,
Oh yeah. The last time
Thank
I
you,
was here.
children.
I will say, when I put the K2 on the table with the toys, that's the first time all night it had gone off. So,
That ball went off too.
yeah, it did at the same time as the K2. So I was like, okay.
So something's going by. Mr. Tom, who was upstairs, says he will put the cat bowl on the table. Probably shouldn't have moved it. And every time he talks, because his name is Tom, every time he talks about Tommy, the cat bowl goes off. Tom and Tommy. And he said one time he was taking a nap upstairs. He woke up and there was a shadow of a woman all in black, leering down at him as he was waking up from his nap. He was not real thrilled.
No.
At all. Yes, he pays money to stay here.
I hope the rent is like $1.
No. There was a couple who actually had a little baby that was, and they lived here. I'm like, oh, holy crap. They moved out. Thank goodness. The apartment is not large, it's mainly for 1 or 2 people.
Right.
But they came out with their little newborn one day, and I swear you could see all the little children surrounding the baby.
Wow.
Alls I could tell you is that baby was not alone.
Right.
Surrounding it and protecting that baby. They moved out after the baby was born. So, any final questions before we move to the other house? All right, take your final photographs. We'll go up the stairs and to the right and walk on down to the Wade Museum. The energy is much better. Flashlight function.
We'll just turn mine off.
Let's see what we got here. Photographs again.
This stairs I hate.
I can't wait to stand up straight.
Yeah, bet you do. But I have to down the stairs.
Right. Goodness.
Feels better out here?
Thank you, children.
Wait till you go
It's
outside.
right as rain now.
You're working now?
No, I don't know. I didn't touch it now.
I feel, I don't know if it's because I'm standing up now,
But you feel
but
better.
like you were just saying, yeah.
Yes, you feel much better.
Wow.
out here. Bullet holes from mini pin balls from the battle. It's all, no one shot it up for anyone's fun. As you can see, someone likes, and here, someone likes to feel their music. It was, the South was in town, and I guess they couldn't shoot straight or something, and they really tore up this house.
Did they?
About 150 mini pin balls in and around the house and still standing. They say the doors from the battle, and they give credit to right here as to where the bullets shot and killed Jenny. Do we really know where the bullet entered that shot and killed this poor 20-year-old? No. Look at the door. Look at the doorknob area. It looks like wood putty heaven. We don't. We never will, because we were not here. All we can do is give you our impressions from the present about the past. This huge honking thing behind us was not here. It was a family home. And this was a rental property. It's a duplex. Believe it or not, this inky dinky little house is a duplex. 2 rooms upstairs, 2 rooms down. That's it. That's your home. If you want to be cursed with bad luck, folks, go ahead. I double dog dare you to take something and come back 2 weeks later to return it, as one gentleman did. Because they were cursed with nothing but bad luck because he took 1 dry bean from George's bean pot. That's all it took. True. It is a true story. His wife was so hot, she was about ready to spit fire. She was so mad. She was livid.
Do you believe the theory is that Jenny Wade was struck by a bullet from the Farnsworth house?
I don't know where the bullet came from. It came from that direction. We will never know where the bullet came from. Some people are dead set on the Farnsworth house. It was from there, that direction. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Just her time with it.
Yep. Ladies, it is one group. They are very quiet. They are very respectful. They will not cause harm to your house. Before I even begin my story, this house was hit with like 150 mini pinballs and a 10-pound artillery shell. The 10-pound artillery shell went screaming through the house, went into Mrs. McLean's overhang. The house still stood. This is one solid little house. Yes. So we have in the parlor. Police will get going on the rest. I don't think I really need to do much more than the house letting it
At
go
that
to
time, there
town.
was a second floor? There was a second floor?
This house always had 2 floors.
Yes.
Come on in here.
Oh, I saw them like 2 minutes ago, and I was like, oh my god, I'm seeing look perfect. I'm like, oh,
Come on
it's just
in.
people walking by. Okay.
Now I'm gonna give you the background story, so you already got a little background. My dear, do you need to sit down? Birthday girl. If you want, Miss Chris told me the striped chair you may sit in. You're the birthday girl. It's all right. That one's safe, the other one's safe. I wouldn't sit on anything else except maybe the simple wooden chair in the kitchen and the stairs.
What? Huh.
Yeah, not the rocking chair. For some reason, the rocking chair is already prioritized by something else. Okay, how did Jenny get here? Who, what, when, where, why, and why is this in the parlor? It wasn't called a living room back then, it was called a parlor. Georgia is expecting. And her husband, Jonathan Lewis, who's pictured right behind you, ladies and gentlemen, handsome young man that he is, he must have loved his wife dearly because he brought this bed down from the smaller bedroom upstairs. This is June 26, 1863 when she's delivering this baby. The bed had to be taken apart. You saw how narrow that set of stairs was. There's no way you could manage this bed down here without disassembling the bed. He had to reassemble the bed. Then, this is not a box spring and mattress. This is 1860 something. There were no box springs and mattresses. He had to re-rump the bed.
Remember what Kevin had?
Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. All centered around these beds. Headboards had a purpose. It was for these. It's not to keep your husband or your children or your boyfriends. What you would do, hay straw mattress, what does it attract?
Oh no.
Bugs.
Barn. You work the bugs out of the bed every night. Make certain they were really dead, folks, and you hopefully sleep with less bed bug night sleep.
Yeah, I'd be on the floor.
And so, yeah, and eventually you would have to like burn the mattress because it's hay and straw and it begin to rot and stink.
Didn't they also do like blankets, like heavy pieces of material or something?
They could have. I'm not certain as to the rest. They might have put something on top because the hay and straw could come through and like
Okay.
jag. Yeah, you got that right. So also, you're 11. I think this would be okay. You had to be very careful when you got married because you saw the knot, right? Your so-called friends while you were getting married and you were celebrating would sneak in and untie the knot.
That's
When you came to spend your first evening as husband and wife, you would spend the evening tying the knot, so that's how it became synonymous with getting married.
No way.
Yes, way. There is a reasoning behind a lot of sayings, even our nursery rhymes, hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, all pertains to a court in Europe, too. Yes, there's a reasoning behind all these sayings. And Georgia, well, this was a home birth, because that's the way they did it back then. Georgia and the doctor were here, and Mama, it was a difficult birth. Don't ask me why it was difficult. They do not explain what made it difficult. Georgia, and you saw the statue up front, that's Jenny, true size. What, about a size 2 by our standards today, maybe a 4 or 5. Georgia's not far behind. Right beside this tall, handsome gentleman, there is a photo of Georgia, Marie, Comfort, the family, the friend, and Jenny. They all look tiny. They all look no bigger than you two young ladies. And doctor told her 9 days after this birth, you must be in bed for 9 days. We don't know why. You know, most childbirth was very dangerous back then, extremely dangerous. And just probably like, yep, I'm gonna stay here 9 days. Gotcha. That did not happen. The war happened. First day of the battle, it's Mama in Georgia and the new baby, Lewis Kenneth, named after her husband, Jonathan Lewis, a little boy. And well, on that first day, Jenny gets scared. She's 20. She's down there with her youngest brother, Harry, their boarder, Isaac Brinkerhoff. Mama and Jenny made all the money because Mr. Wade was no help. He's at the almshouse. He's mentally gone by this point in his life. And she gets scared. She's 20. You have all these soldiers running around the house. She has 2 little boys. It's not easy. You know, it's not that difficult to put 2 and 2 together. I'd think the same thing she would. I'm coming up to Georgia's safety in numbers. And we have Mama, Georgia, and the new baby, Harry, Jenny, and Isaac. Jenny walked up here on the first day during a battle with 2 little boys. Isaac's legs didn't work quite right. Don't ask me how she got up here. Well, the battle was going on and didn't get shot. And they're all working together. Everything seems to be going as well as possible. And then in the evening before you could say, hey, I think we sort of kind of need to go to the cellar, they find themselves caught. North is at East Cemetery Hill, the south is in town. And they're stuck. Now this was also a very stinky time. The men, the soldiers, bathing was not a top priority. These ladies are trapped here for 3 days. There's no bathing. Do you see any indoor plumbing?
No.
No. Their plumbing is outside. It's called the well. Their bathroom is outside. It's called the outhouse or the privy. If you need to go potty during this battle, that's what the chamber pot was for. You lifted up the lid, did your business, put the lid on. So during this whole 3-day battle, there was like no bathing. You did your business in a pan with the lid on it. It's July. The men are dressed in wool uniforms. You thought the orphanage was stinking. So we're all smelling. And the human waste did not help, nor the dead or dying several thousand bodies of the soldiers did not help either around this town as they're decomposing. And on that second day is when the 10-pound artillery shell came screaming through the dividing wall and into the other side. Jenny faints. These women are in 1863 clothing. Women clothing. That is a corset. I mean, you're dressed in drawers, a camisole, a corset, maybe something over your corset, a hoop or a couple petticoats, and then something over your hoop, and then you put on your clothes, ladies. That is how they were dressed back then, and it's July, and you're in poofy skirts. They had to stay low from these windows. Can you imagine, like, maybe putting safety pins in between their skirts or taking their skirts up and pinning them like this so they could crawl on the floors just to stay low? And after that 10-pound artillery shell, well, and Jenny's fainted on the floor, she gets revived. They're probably going, whew, that's a close one. That's a close one. But we're all alive. We're all good. And maybe at that time, I don't know, they're probably thinking, what else could happen? I think we've done it all. A house is being shot up. 10-pound artillery shell. We're crawling on the ground. I hope this is it. I hope this is all. But it's not all, and it's not it. The war sadly had other plans for this family. If you join me in the kitchen. This is why it's important for layers. Marmots, rats, and stacks. This gets really tight in here. Jenny on July 3rd, bless her heart. I heard some noise up there too. She's out the door and back in because wood and water, she mixed up the ingredients for dough at the dough tray, and on that day, July 3rd, she's working at this dough at the dough tray. And as she comes over to work here, she says to her sister Georgia as she passes her, Georgiana, if there's anyone that is to be killed in this house today, please let it be me because you have that new baby. Be careful what you say in here. Now she's at this dough tray. She's bent over or kneeling down, or she has the dough in a bowl from there. She's working on it. Mama's stoking the fire to get it good and hot. The door is as fixed as such. Mama and Jenny are talking. George is over there with the baby, and the battle's going on. And one moment Mama's talking, the next moment Jenny's on the floor. That's it. They're real.
Yes.
And Mama thinks she's fainted because that's what happened when the 10-pound para-artillery shell came in. But Mama checks, and that's not a faint. Turns her, this poor girl is bleeding out, and Georgia doesn't know. Not one little bit. And Mama goes over, and she has to tell Georgia. Anyone ever have to tell someone that someone died? Trust me, there's no way to put it. There is no easy way to put it. And Mama does the only thing she can do. Georgia, your sister is dead. And Georgia, you have to feel for her. I do. New mother. She doesn't know if her husband's alive or dead. She had a difficult birth. Her house is being shot up. And now her sister is dead. She's fried. That's it. That poor young woman, new mother, is done. She lets it rip with a scream to end all scream, and soldiers seem to appear, burst into here, and look at the scene in front of them. It's like, oh, it's time to go, ladies. How? Says Mrs. Wade. We go out that door, we'll be shot. She's right. That's the south side. You went out these doors wearing the wrong color. Yep, you were shot at. That's it. They didn't care what skin color it was. What are you wearing on your clothes? The artillery shell. Up they went. They beat and banged, made a hole in the wall. You crawled through and you crawled through it. Family and all. They wrapped Jenny in the quilt. Up through she went with the family. Blood and all. Through Mrs. McLean's side, down the stairs, out the door, into their cellar. I do not know where Mrs. McLean was. Some people say she was gone. Some people say she was in her cellar. I do not know, and I will never know. It's just kind of lost to history, sadly. And that's where she stayed. The whole family stayed till afterwards, and Jenny is buried, and Georgia moves out by 67, 68. You need to duck going.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Watch your heads, please duck. Low support beam. You can't pass through it yet. You're still alive.
Oh, pardon me.
Can't make it
Oh, what the?
I don't know if I actually got it in camera, but like with my own eyes, I swear it was a dude in black.
I didn't get to show her this one yet. I told her about the one from earlier. I didn't show her. I just told her
the
about
orb,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I've not gotten anything like that.
No, I
Besides
haven't.
that one.
I mean, I haven't been paying too close attention. I'm kind of doing
Well, imagine
Spray,
if
spray,
somebody
but-
in here did.
Like I review each one twice when I take it.
All
Like,
right.
I take 4
I would
pictures.
want to be.
Okay.
There's a lot
Here's
of
the orb that I got
There
at
hasn't
the
been that many
orphanage
names
here.
for Ivy.
It's a color motion picture.
We've seen Ivy
First
quite a
2
few
seconds
times,
of the play.
even in the other house. And in this
Oh. Have a
I've seen
seat.
Ivy a lot, yeah.
Birthday girl, where are you? Birthday girl gets the back corner right here.
I knew you were gonna tell her that's
Note
why.
to self, don't get the store on your birthday.
What's the back corner thing? Well, we'll find out, but it's all right, have a seat. You won't, it's okay.
Go ahead and turn
That's Mr. Wade's spot.
I knew.
Okay.
So sorry.
He does not mind ladies sitting
He
there.
doesn't mind you sitting there.
He doesn't mind ladies, it's the
How
men.
dare you, mister, go sit there. Go sit there.
I would like to respect Mr. Wade and
Not sit there.
and not sit there,
Okay, have a seat wherever you wish.
except for over in that corner.
Is there something over there where the young lady is sitting?
No.
But 18
Don't worry, it's just
hours
the K2.
is where the family stayed here. And when it's all
She
said and
wanted one
done,
of those.
on the 4th of July, which is George's birthday, Jenny is buried behind the house before when there was still land back here. And it was raining. The house is a mess. Everything's being destroyed. The town reeks. It's covered with dead men, horses, and mules.
That's so sad.
It is. A year afterwards, in '64, Jenny's dug up and moved to the German Reformed Cemetery in town, and in '65, the same year, Lincoln was shot. Jenny's dug up and moved to Evergreen. That's where she stayed ever since. Georgia's husband lives. They go on to have 5 children.
Wow, that's a lot.
5 children. And what happens here? Well, Mr. Wade's spot. And this is his area. He's watching over Jenny. That is Jenny. That will always be Jenny. One of the scariest things that has happened down here is one time I came down to turn the lights on for the earlier tour, the early evening tour. Some snot-nosed person uncovered the face of
Oh,
the
come
mannequin.
on.
I went down here and I went, oh no! And I ran back upstairs. Jesus, Mary Jones. I said, oh, holy crap. And I had to cover her up. And I am not happy. Mr. Wade is not happy. And I am apologizing profusely for the idiot who did this, and I'm hoping that person has been cursed for quite some time. Said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, that is one fact. And I covered it up. That's been there for years, so don't uncover the mannequin.
I wouldn't want to piss off her dad either.
No, I
He
don't
was
want
in Eastern State without the phone for stealing money.
No, he was at, not Eastern State, he was at, in Philly, you're right,
Yeah.
I'm wrong, sorry. And, he lost his mind there because, I'm gonna try to put this over, because he was in his cell by himself for 2 solid years, no thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that's
I'm gonna put this against the far wall, I'm trying not to blind anyone, please don't look at me. If it moves, someone's here. And otherwise, as long as you are respectful to what is here, it will be okay. If you are not, and you have had one too many, and you come down these stairs and lamb-blast, Mr. Wade's not here, it's all up. Yeah, that lasted 5 seconds because the floorboards started resounding with a bam, bam, bam.
My thumb. Watch that brown thing.
So,
See that move? Like shimmer from right to left.
and
See it? It's very subtle.
yes, otherwise,
Question:
yes,
is the hand of the mannequin normally out from under the blanket?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Some people in the daytime tour, they you're not supposed to do this, but they do their own Durgo's fun during the day. That's not what it's for, folks. It is for history and history only. And then they go messing around down here,
Gotcha. Yeah.
moving stuff. You're not supposed to do that. And don't like it. People really don't like it when that happens. I said you should find them an extra $50 to $100 for pulling that crap.
Yep.
But you don't touch. As for what happens around here, it's more around. They said when there was still land back there behind us, and Gettysburg isn't what it is today, but all the players in our story have long since passed on. I'm talking about maybe like the 30s and 40s. They said you could see women, 2 women in 1860s gear, dress, behind this house. staring at the ground. People said they wouldn't move, but they said if you were able to get close enough to them, you could see tears down their faces. And it is believed that it was Georgia and Mrs. Wade paying their respects to Jenny when she was first buried behind this house. And that's what's here. I thank you all for coming out tonight. I know it was a little longer than usual, but you were a small group. And you, being a small group, we could do more with the small group.
Okay. We're just gonna do this raw, I guess. I hope this is in frame. I just did my first ever ghost tour. So saw both the orphanage and the Jenny, I can't remember her last name, house. Jenny Wade house, I think. I'll put it on screen. The orphanage was definitely a hot spot, especially for emotions. The pictures that I looked at did not have any evidence that I saw, but I had my recorder going, my GoPro recording. So hopefully that got me something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to my hotel room and put on like Blue's Clues or some shit like that, because it wasn't scary, but it was just unique. All right, stay tuned.